Ian, I've looked at the weather forecast in Dover tomorrow, and it's not great. Has there been any contact initially with Dover about what the state of the pitch tomorrow potentially?
Not that I'm aware of, but I think we'll have some contact with them. But yeah, the weather doesn't look good. I'm sure we'll speak to them later, but there's nothing that they can tell us before tomorrow anyway. But I would assume if it's not good in the morning, there'll be an inspection like there was against Halifax, and we'll see how it is. But I'm very hopeful that the game's going to be on. We've heard nothing else.
If we get to that position, are you confident that Dover would have the early pitch inspection, that they would be more transparent than they were last time?
No idea. We'll see. We have to see how the pitch is. I mean, we'll take contact with them later and find out where the land lies with that. But yeah, obviously there was some mistakes last time. Hopefully the same mistakes don't happen again.
There was uncertainty, of course, before the Halifax game, before that was declared on. I mean, how difficult for you as a head coach is it to prepare for games when you're constantly having this thought at the back of your mind?
It's not ideal, but like when we got to Halifax, we knew there was a pitch inspection at 1, and normally when we're at the hotel, we were going to leave at 1. So therefore, we go through a lot of tactical things at 1:15, and the team and a lot of information. And it was strange, like 1:15, doing that, and then knowing, well, in 15 minutes I might get a call that says it's off. But we just prepare as if the game is on. That's all we can do. So the today's training was geared towards that. Everything tomorrow will be geared towards that. And then, yeah, if it's off, it's off. We can't do anything about it. But very hopeful that it's not the case tomorrow, and we're preparing for a game.
How pleased were you with that performance on Saturday, given the uncertainty before the game, the fact that you made quite a few changes, and the way that Notts went about that?
Yeah, I mean, Halifax have been excellent this year. Really good team. Certainly at home, not an easy place to go. Pitch was not great, and I thought that we dealt with it well. We didn't change too much how we want to play. I think you see even the last goal is like 85 minutes, and it's a build up from Sam. Both centre halves are on the ball before we play through, and then Jaden drives through. So I think we're still playing the way that we wanted to play, and we were brave to do that on that pitch, and it helped us win the game. So I was happy with that, and really happy that we changed 7 players. That players that haven't had that many minutes get to come in against a very good team and show what they're capable of, which just makes my job harder. But obviously, it's a great position to be with so many good players that want to play.
That must be really encouraging that you're seeing that type of performance on that type of pitch, especially with a game at a place like Dover tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you do have to adapt a little bit. We know that the ball doesn't run as well, and you need those extra touches. And in some games, we haven't adapted as well. Like Bromley away was a little bit slow tempo on that AstroTurf, but I thought we adapted really well, and we still played to the way that we wanted to do. But we adapted well, fewer touches, and when we got the chance to play through them, we did. And like I say, I was happy. It was a strong away performance.
I just spoke with Jaden Richardson, who was very modest about his speed in comparison to other members of the Notts squad. Is he the quickest member of the squad, do you think? And how impressed have you been with him over the last few weeks and months, especially given the build-up for that second goal?
Oh, he's been excellent. He's been excellent. I mean, he's come in and he's really embraced the role that we've given him. He knows that in our way of playing, he gets to bomb forwards, and I think that's where he's certainly at his best, is when he gets to utilise his pace and go forwards. Quickest in the squad, probably, but we've got a few quick ones as well. I know Aaron Nemain off the mark is really quick, so it'd be interesting to see. I'm sure we've got it somewhere on the GPS recorded who's the quickest, but yeah, there's a few in there to compete with that, but Jaden's certainly up there.
Dover tomorrow, then a couple of home games, and then we're heading into March. It really feels that that's going to be a month that would almost define the season, given the opposition that you're playing, and in such a short space of time as well.
Probably, but I think we have to be ready for every game, and if we're not, we've seen where we've had slip-ups in games that maybe we should take points and we haven't, certainly away from home. So it's not only about the big games. We've got to make sure that we're prepared for Dover away, Eastleigh home, and not get too far ahead of ourselves. Those games will come, and they'll all be. I'm sure as each game gets ticked off, we'll talk about how important this game is, and then that game will go, and we'll have the same conversation for the next game. So they're all going to be very, very important games, and I think we'll hopefully go into it very well prepared, knowing that we play some of the teams at the top end of the table. But I think we had a similar kind of run. We had those 3 losses in a row, and then we had a similar kind of run where we played Stockport, Solihull, Dagenham, Grimsby, all in a short space of time, and we did really well out of those games. So I think we enjoy that challenge.
Well, Dover's form speaks for itself, doesn't it? But at home, they're not being turned over every single game. They have been tight games. Are you expecting something similar tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. I think, if I'm right, and you can correct me, but I think Chesterfield drew down there. I think Wrexham won 1-0 in the 80th minute, 84th minute. They only lost 1-0 with 10 men away at Stockport the other week. So, like you say, of course their league position's not good, and they don't have a great results this season. But at the same time, they haven't been in some games they have, but in many games have been tight games and very difficult games for the opposition. So I think it's one that you really, despite the league position, you'd be daft to underestimate, because you see in some of the games, like if I use Stockport away, I mean, how good have Stockport been lately? And Dover went away there and only got beat 1-0, and they had 10 men for about 60 minutes of that. So clearly not a team that is just lying down. They're not doing that. They're competing in the games. So we absolutely have to be ready for that.